Next up is our reigning NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. That is Matt Crafton. He drives the number 88 Goof Off Menards Toyota and for Thor Motorsports. And just talk a little bit about coming here to Kansas. It's been a few weeks since you've been out on the track, and where you think your season is so far and what you want to try to get coming out of here tomorrow evening.
Been a few weeks. It's been an eternity since we've been on the racetrack. What are you talking about? It's definitely been a little while since I've been on the racetrack. I look forward to always coming to Kansas. Very, very cool racetrack. I just learned something a little while ago. I was doing a radio show. I'm one of the only drivers that's ran all 14 truck races here. So again, they made me feel old. It's crazy. 37 years old and you're feeling old. But I said it's always really good racing here, and first time, I think they've never had a back-to-back winner here at Kansas, so I've got the monkey on my back this weekend to be able to try to do a two-time winner here.
Questions for Matt as he's going for a second one here. Let's go with Kenny Bruce.
Kenny Bruce at NASCAR.com. Matt, with only 2 races and there being so much time in between those, do you feel like you guys have a pretty good idea of not only how good your team is, but how everybody else stacks up, or is that still something you guys aren't sure about?
I think we're going to be, we shouldn't miss a stride, really. Just going to Martinsville. And at the end of last year, the last, I'll say, 5 or 6 races, not saying we put it in cruise control, but we didn't get to race quite as hard as we wanted to. And I knew we had a lot of speed in our trucks, but I had to race really, really smart and couldn't put myself in any bad positions. And everybody kept giving us a bad time then last year. You guys are just going to top 10 us to death. No, we're just trying to win this championship right now. And then then we went into this season with guns loaded and just kind of felt good just to prove a point. No, we can win races as well as when we need to. So we feel like we're going to be strong, and I know there's going to be a lot of other strong teams. I know Blaney, and I know both my teammates, Johnny and Jeb, they're going to be good as well. All the KBM Tundras are going to be very good. So I know there's going to be a lot of very good trucks again.
Let's go back here to Jim Petley. You have a question?
Matt, could you talk about the new truck a little bit and using it here and what you might learn from it coming out of here and heading into a larger part of the schedule?
It's a pretty good question. I don't know how exactly it's going to handle in traffic. First time we've ever had our Menards Toyota Tundra on 1.5 miles was, I think it was a week, 2 weeks ago. We had a 2-day test in Charlotte. They didn't drive that much different by themselves, so I haven't been in any traffic with them to see how they handle, but I don't see they're going to be that much different. So I said we have, I think, 3 of them built, I would say, to be able to run 1.5 miles, but at the same time, we don't know exactly what we're looking for, our wind tunnel numbers, this, that, so it'll be very interesting.
Let's go to this young man right here, then we'll go to the back.
Brett Wham, Speedway Digest. Matt, it seems like the previous winners here have all been pretty much veteran drivers. How come this place is so hard for the young talent?
That's a pretty good question. I'm not sure. It definitely is a tricky racetrack. You look at it, it's just an average 1.5 mile racetrack, but so I was just giving some of the rookie field laps around the racetrack. Off turn 4 is very, very, very tough to get off of. So it's tough to get your stuff handling through 1 and 2 and be that good in 3 and 4 as well. So just getting the balance overall, the racetrack is very key.
Let's go in the back, Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Matt, can you talk about running the truck race last year in the day, and then this year you're going to have to run it under the lights and with the new truck? And is there just so many components that go into this year's race compared to different from last year? How is Thor Sport approaching that with your 3 trucks?
That's a pretty good question. I have no idea what from day to night. The only, I guess, backup that we have is we had Frank Kimmel on the Menards Archery car last year, and he raced it under the lights at the end of the season, and he won the race. So I don't know what the track's going to do, to be totally honest. I'm sure it'll get more grip. Is it going to get freer? Is it going to tighten up? We don't know, to be totally honest. I mean, we have a little bit, but we're not going to share all that with everybody what it's going to do. But I mean, just having all three teams to help each other is definitely going to be very, very key. And I said last year during the day, I mean, it got very slippery and the groove started moving around. So hopefully the groove will widen out tomorrow night as well, and we can get a second and third groove going.
Let's go to Jim.
Matt, can you just get a quick reaction to Camping World signing on for 7 more years and what that means to the sport and the fans and everybody else?
Oh, it's huge for me. I mean, for all the owners, for every one of the crew guys, for everybody involved in the Camping World Truck Series. It's very cool. I know when I read it that morning, I was ecstatic over it, just to know that Camping World and the Camping World Truck Series is going to be around for a long time to come. I know it was a big breath of fresh air for NASCAR too, because they had to sign 2 series sponsors, and they got one of them out of the way, and Camping World stepping up. So it's very good.
Other questions? Right here on the front row.
Matt, last year there, it was early in the season like it is this year, but the win last year kind of jump-started you on the way to the title, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we ran Daytona. We had a decent race, and we went to Martinsville. We finished second last year. I think we finished third at Rockingham, then we came here and we won. We had a lot of momentum coming in here, and then we did get the win. And then we went after this race, we finished, it's crazy, I can remember these things, but 4th at Charlotte, and then I finished 2nd at Dover. And just, it's just all about the team. Every one of those guys on the team are very, very good. And yes, it did catapult us into the points lead and never lost it from there on out. So it was definitely huge. Momentum in this sport, and momentum in any sport, is very big. So hopefully we can just keep that mojo going from our Martinsville win a few weeks ago.
Let's go back to Jim.
Matt, I wonder if I get a quick reaction to what you've seen out of Darrell Wallace Jr. in his time in the Truck Series, and are you impressed by him? And what do you
No, he's terrible.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. No, he's done very, very good. And Darrell's been very, very fast. And I said each and every race he's learned. And at the beginning of the year, he had speed and he made mistakes. And there at the end of the year, he definitely was finishing the races where he was running. So I'm sure this year it's going to be one of the teams to run for the championship as well.
Back in the back, Chris.
Matt, Chris Knight from KitchenNest.com again. I was talking to a lot of the drivers and teams in the truck garage about that Charlotte test a couple weeks ago, and a lot of them said it was very beneficial. How beneficial was it for you guys to do that? And did you guys learn anything there that you guys can apply not only here, but next week at Charlotte as well?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be very big. I mean, we definitely learned a lot of what this new nose wants. I mean, it's not quite as forgiving on a few different things on the splitter. I mean, we have a lot bigger splitter than we used to have, and just trying to find the balance that the truck wanted was definitely a little bit different. It wasn't like black and white different, anything like that. I mean, it's definitely a little different, but not that bad.